Hi and welcome to pmplounge.com. In this video, continuing our discussion on the report Capturing the Value of Project Management Through Knowledge Transfer, which is a sub-report of the original report, which is Capturing the Value of Project Management, and the other sub-report is Capturing the Value of Project Management Through Decision Making. All these three reports are available for free on the PMI website. All you need to do is go there and download these. The direct link to that report will be available in the description. All copyrights acknowledged. So let's try to understand how organizations can encourage the culture of knowledge transfer. In our previous videos of this series, we have understood how important knowledge transfer really is and how knowledge transfer can actually impact and enhance the success ratio of the projects. They can enhance the likability of project success. They can enhance the chances of project success, right? So they can impact the project outcomes in the positive way. So knowledge transfer, a successful knowledge transfer is a must. So how do we do that? How do we encourage the culture of knowledge transfer? How do we make sure that the organizations adopt it? And in your own organization, how can the employees, right, the people that work in the organization, they develop the culture of knowledge transfer? So let's take a look at it. The first thing to understand here is, why do you want to do that? Well, we want to do it because culture encourages buy-in. And this is an excerpt from the report itself. It says when organizations have a culture that values knowledge transfer, they are far more successful at it. So organizations with culture of valuing the knowledge transfer process, the KT process, they are far more successful at it. A full 96% of respondents, when they say respondents here, they're talking about how PMI would have conducted certain surveys, right, to come up with this report. And in those surveys, the people who responded, right, those are basically part of certain organizations. They are responding on behalf of their organization. So those respondents, a full 96% of those respondents agree that's a supportive organizational culture alone or coupled with state of the art knowledge storage and retrieval policies and technology contributes to effective knowledge transfer. So, what is required for effective knowledge transfer? Number one is supportive organizational culture, and number two, state of the art knowledge storage and retrieval policies and technology. So, these things are important for effective knowledge transfer. You can quickly read the other paragraph as well. But like I said, the entire report you can go in and you can download from the PMI website. The link will be available in the description. It's available for free for everyone, right? So let's take a look at the next slide here. Despite these known benefits, many cultural factors continue to inhibit knowledge transfer. So, obviously, everybody knows that knowledge transfer is important, at least most of the organizations, right? Through the survey, through this report, most of the organizations do understand that knowledge transfer is important. They know the importance of knowledge transfer, but there are certain cultural factors which inhibit, which impede the process of knowledge transfer, which which contribute to inhibiting the knowledge transfer process. What are these? These are basically called frictions. So we will take a look into these frictions, and we will also take a look at how these frictions can be calmed down so that there is a culture of knowledge transfer which develops in the organization. Let's take a look at those frictions and the solution to those frictions. So again, this is again the excerpt from the report itself. So some of the most common frictions and the solutions on how you can overcome these if you face these in your organization. Number one, lack of trust. So the solution, as per the report, is build relationships and trust through face-to-face and virtual meetings that foster dialogue and collaboration. So if there is lack of trust between the departments, if there is lack of trust between employees, right, working in those departments, or employees working in even in the same department, how do you build that trust? So the friction is lack of trust. The solution to this is to build that trust. And how do you do that? Well, you can build relationships and trust through face-to-face and virtual meetings that foster dialogue and collaboration. So you need to kind of come up with avenues so that employees can have these opportunities of building relationships. They can have these face to face meetings, they can have these virtual meetings more often than not. And when they speak to each other, right, that is how relationships are built, that is how trust is built, right? So this will enable in fostering dialogues, and this will enable in collaboration. So lack of trust can be handled with more frequent meetings, be it face to face, be it virtual meetings, and this will help to eradicate the problem of lack of trust. Moving on to number two, friction number two here is different cultures, vocabularies, frames of reference. Now, this is essentially a problem with multinational organizations, right? And we see them everywhere. Multinational companies, these MNCs, right? They have offices all across the world. And this obviously results in employees that belong to different cultures. They have different ways of speaking, different languages, different vocabularies. A word in English may mean something in USA and may mean something totally different in the Middle East. So that is also possible, right? So that is where we are coming from when we say they have different frames of references. So what is the solution to this? The solution is to establish common ground through the use of education, discussion, publications such as PMBOK guide and PMI's global standards, teaming and job rotation. Now, one of the most beautiful feature of PMP certification is that a PMP certified project manager speaks the global and speaks the basically the language of the common ground, the global project management language, which is acceptable and understood everywhere in the world. A PMP certified project manager will speak that language because he has learned that language during his PMP studies. So that is one of the reasons why PMP is extremely important for all project management practitioners and project management professionals. So the solution to this problem, the different cultures, vocabularies, and frame of references, is kind of referring to such guides, right? PMBOK guide, something which is a PMBOK guide is again nothing but a book which you refer to during your PMP exam preparation. So referring to such books, right, and such standards will help you to speak the same language across cultures, across countries, across continents, and basically globally speaking the same language. Teaming, you can team people up from different cultures that belong to different regions, and you can also kind of introduce the concept of job rotation, wherein you may ask someone from some other country to do a certain job in a different country, right? So obviously that can be done virtually, but then by that the person from the other country will be able um, to communicate and interact with people from other countries and will help in understanding the cultures and the vocabularies of the other countries. So this again is a problem which is typically faced by MNCs, and this can be resolved through uh, basically referring to publications such as PMBOK, which are global standards, and teaming, job rotation, education, and discussion. Finally, intolerance for mistakes or need for help. So there could be intolerance for mistakes or need for help among the different departments which are involved in knowledge transfer. So a department may feel that the other department whom they want to do the knowledge transfer of, they are basically intolerant of any kinds of mistakes, or the other department who needs knowledge transfer might not be up for asking for help, right? So how do you overcome that? So accept and reward those who make use of lessons learned. Lessons learned is again typically an activity which is carried over and completed during the closure phase of the project. Support creative problem solving and collaboration. So again, this kind of solutions, right? Accepting and rewarding those who make use of lessons learned, supporting those who are doing creative problem solving and collaboration, and recognizing that no one knows everything. This is something which is more from a level of C-suite, right? The C-level executives, they need to drive this. They need to be responsible of making sure that the organization is kind of taking steps, and the higher level managers, right? They are making sure that they are rewarding those who are making use of lessons learned. They are supporting problem solving, the creative problem solving and collaboration, and the company as a whole is recognizing that no one knows everything. So this is again a sort of initiative which the higher management can take to make sure that the friction of intolerance for mistakes or need for help is resolved. So that was one of the solutions. So that is all that we had with this video. Hope you liked it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and check us out on our social media, facebook.com/PMP Lounge and twitter.com/PMP Lounge. As always, do check out the website pmplounge.com, the number one free resource for PMP certification as well as project management industry information. Thank you.